Celebrating 150 years, Towson University.
And I now invite Dr. Lisa Plowfield, Dean of the College of Health Professions, to the podium to present the Dean's Recognition Award to Jean M. Seafarth, class of 1976.
Good evening. The College of Health Professions sought nominees for this year's award and found a perfect recipient for 2016. This year's ceremony could not have been planned more perfectly, as May 12th is Florence Nightingale's birthday. And our recipient this evening is a wonderfully talented Towson nurse. What you may know of Florence Nightingale is that she was the founder of professional nursing in the 19th century. She is likely the lady with the lamp who would check on wounded soldiers. But Miss Nightingale did authored quite a number of articles, and she went on to write about the qualities of the professional nurse, noting dedication, service to others, an inquisitive and scientific mind, and a humble spirit. I share these qualities because Dr. Jeannie Seafarth depicts all of them. Her credentials and career reflect 40 years of dedicated service to the care of others, the pursuit of evidence-based practice, and in her discussion with me, a highly competent, capable, scientific nurse with a very humble, unassuming spirit. Let me take a moment to introduce Dr. Seafarth and her accomplishments. Jeannie began her education at Frostburg State and transferred to Towson for her nursing degree. She received her Bachelor's of Science in Nursing in 1976. It was our third graduating class of nurses. She went on to receive her Master's of Science as a clinical nurse specialist in adult psychology from the University of Maryland, Baltimore, and her doctorate in nursing from West Virginia University School of Nursing. Her dissertation research was titled, "Looking Back, Primary Decision Makers' Narratives About the Decision to Withdraw Life-Sustaining Treatment from a Family Member." Jeannie started her career at the former Baltimore City Hospital, now known as Francis Scott Key Medical Center, as an emergency room nurse. She found she liked all types of patients, and when she decided to return to school for her graduate degree, she gravitated to psychiatric mental health nursing. Very early in her career, Jeannie made a decision to return for her master's degree based on her Towson faculty members' directions to pursue advanced education early. This was actually quite uncommon because master's degrees didn't often exist in nursing in the 70s and the early 80s. Jeannie has worked as a psychiatric nurse therapist, a clinical nurse specialist, and a faculty member in the greater Baltimore region. Based on her family life, Jeannie chose to move to Cumberland, Maryland. She noted that she thought her career would wither and not be well served in this rural region. But Jeannie's inquisitive mind and pursuit of excellence led her to a leadership position at Sacred Heart Hospital as a nursing education director and manager. And Jeannie currently is employed as the Education and Project Management Coordinator for the Western Maryland Health System. She has held this position since 1996. In this role, Jeannie has helped countless nurses begin their careers and orient to the complex world of a staff nurse. She has led and mentored nurses in pursuing research to improve the delivery of care and nursing practice. She has been a cheerleader for nurses as they needed encouragement to move their own careers forward. She found she could pursue excellence and a strong career in Western Maryland. Twice she has received Nurse of the Year awards, once for her work in Western Maryland and once from the Maryland Nurses Association. She has presented nationally on mental health nursing issues as well as ethics in healthcare. When Jeannie and I discussed this award, she assured me there must be more deserving alumni recipients. For 40 years, Dr. Jeannie Seafarth has quietly pursued excellence, provided care to vulnerable patients, investigated best practices, and educated and mentored nurses to help them provide the best possible care. For her ongoing contributions and her work as a Towson University nurse, the College of Health Professions is pleased and honored to present Dr. Jeannie Seiferth with the 2016 Dean's Recognition Award. Jeannie, please come forward to accept this award. I know Ms. Nightingale would agree.
Wow, that was lovely. I'd like to, first of all, thank Dean Plowfield. We've had lovely discussions about my career as a nurse, but I would like to thank her as well as the Alumni Association for this very prestigious award. I need to tell you that when I was a young kid, I heard people talking about, being a film editor and all that. I thought, oh, I would be an astronaut. And my kids will find this very funny because I can't even stand to be on a ride or be in a plane. I could not take any of that. So then I thought, well, maybe I'll be an FBI investigator. I can't even watch Criminal Minds. So I didn't know what I wanted to be. I know I like science. But my mother, who was a nurse and ended up being a nurse for 40 years, she would come home in the morning from working all night, and she would have a soiled uniform, and I'd say, I'm never going to be a nurse. And she said, good, be a teacher, never be a nurse. And she said, who would want this job? It's hard, you're on your feet all day. And she had contracted TB and went away for a couple of years when I was a small child. I had the opportunity to work as a secretary at the hospital where she worked, and some great nurses pulled me aside, took me into the emergency room, and showed me what it was like to take care of a trauma patient, and it was like magic. And I thought, that is what I'm going to be, is a nurse. After she got over her shock, she said to me, you will not go to a 2-year school, a 3-year school, you only go to a 4-year school. And that's how I came to Towson. And my parents it was very tough for someone coming from a rural community to come here to the big world of Towson. And my father felt quite comfortable once he met some of the people who would be my teachers. And so Towson was a wonderful place for me. As Dean Plowfield said, I was introduced to the idea of, within 2 years, I was told, start your master's. And I knew right then and there that that's what I would start doing. And it has been a great field for me. I'm so pleased. I was so glad that I came to Towson and that it introduced me to the nursing career that I have loved all along. I wanted to thank my family that's here with me, including my daughter, who's an alumni of Towson, in teaching, and my first preceptor, who was at Baltimore City Hospital with me. And so in closing, as Dean Plowfield said, today is Florence Nightingale's birthday. And so I just have a little quote from her. If a nurse declines to do certain kinds of things for her patient because it is not her business, I should say that nursing is not her calling. I have seen surgical sisters, women, whose hands were worth to them several dollars a week, down upon their knees, scouring a room, a hut, because they thought it otherwise not fit for their patients to go into. I am far from wishing nurses to scour. It is a waste of power. But I do say that these women had the true nurse calling, the good of their sick first, and second, only the consideration what it was their place to do. And that women who wait for the housemaid to do this, or the chairwoman to do that, when their patients are suffering, have not the making of a nurse in them. And I truly believe that nursing was my calling. It called me. I didn't go looking for a job. It is my profession, and I'm very proud.
has been a production of Towson University. Visit us online at towson.edu.